couple of the reasons why you might be thinking you cannot start a side hustle this year is the fact that A, you don't have enough time because it's going to be a time-consuming process, or B, you're going to have to put a load of money in. Well, if you want a business that you can run on your own, where you own it, because you're going to be collecting emails, which means that if your social media accounts get deleted because you've been spamming, or because you've not been reusing content correctly or something like that, you own your email list. Okay, nobody can take that away from you, and you don't have to deal with tons of clients. And if you do want clients, they'll be so warm, they'll be ready to work with you straight away, and they'll be asking you how much it is to get hold of your services. Then a newsletter might be the idea for you. Plus, if you don't want to run your own newsletter, you could run it for somebody else as a business, and then you can make money that way through an agency model. Now, one of the reasons people don't get stuck with this kind of thing, don't get started with this kind of thing, is that they don't know if their idea is good enough, and then they're worried about the time. And in this video, I'm going to show you 2 tools that are going to take those problems away for you. The first one is this one here. It's our newsletter Idea Validator. All you've got to do is come in, answer these 3 questions in a very brief sentence, and then it's going to be able to take that idea, analyze it, and tell you what the AI thinks of this. And that will give you a nice indication of whether you want to go with that idea or whether you want to feed it something else. So I put in a weekly newsletter that gives resources, tips, and advice on building your own tiny house from scratch. And the reason I focus on this one is tiny houses are a really popular niche. It's a great niche to build a community around and have that community feel within your newsletter. You can put affiliate links in your newsletter from day one, which means you've got earning potential from day one. And you can get advertisers and sponsors that will pay you a lot of money to be in your newsletter every week. So dedicated, loyal fans that will want to open your newsletter. Now, there's different ways we could have gone about this. What I did was I put this idea into Google Gemini. It gave me some title names, and if you want the prompt, just put the word prompt in the comments and I can give you that. It gave these ideas. I quite like this one, Tiny House Tribe, because this would be this idea of a community, maybe sharing stories of people that have built their own tiny houses in order to inspire people, and people that are kind of considering building a tiny house. By the way, if you don't know what a tiny house is, it's just one of these small houses that people live in order to help them reduce their costs. Cost of living is going up. These are houses where people can build them, take on a tiny mortgage or no mortgage at all. People are building them for just a few thousand. Some do cost up to 6 figures if people want to pay that much. But for people that are trying to downsize in order to save money, they're a great option. But what I've gone for is this one here, Tiny House Toolkit. And the reason I've gone for this one is I want to fill it with resources that people would find useful if they were going to build their own tiny house. So what I'm going to be able to do is curate information from different sources, and then people are going to get my weekly newsletter knowing that I'm sharing with them great places to get ideas and tips on actually building their own tiny house. And the nice thing about that is when I come to sponsors and advertisers, I can go and get people that are actually targeted to these people, that actually build them or create products that people are going to need if they're building their own tiny house. And then I've got a chance of having a higher click-through rate, and so sponsors and advertisers are going to want to work with me. So the second tool I want to show you is our newsletter generator. This is it here. All you got to do is put in your newsletter name. So I've done that, hit save. Publisher's name, and you've got to put in your custom logo as well. Took me about 1 minute in order to create my logo, and if you'd like some more detailed training on exactly how I've done this and done the whole newsletter, then just put training down in the comments, and if I get enough interest I can do that for you. But once I've done all that, I'm just going to go ahead and generate my newsletter. But first I need to get all of the links. So let me show you that bit. So what I've done is I've gone through, I've decided my section titles. Now all of this I can move. If I want to, I can delete it. What I can do as well is I can click this box. So if I've got an advertiser or sponsor that wants to work with me and they just want me to send traffic through to their homepage, that's absolutely fine. I can just use our tool called Curated that I'm going to show you in a second, and put the link into the box. However, if they have sort of dedicated copy and a particular image they want me to use, I can just click this box, and what will happen is I can put that information in. It's completely up to you and the sponsor that you contact, or they contact you, and how you guys want to work together. So I've gone for the section of building. I put in my URLs for that section. I've gone for planning, and all I've done is I found these articles here, and I've taken the URLs from them, and then I put them into my newsletter. Okay, so you can also put videos in. So I found a nice YouTube video, put that in there. And then I've got this last box down here. So just to show you how this works, if I just go over to this here, this is the one that I'm going to imagine is my sponsor. These guys actually build tiny houses. So they might want to be in my newsletter every single month and sponsor me for a year. I could do a 12-month deal with them, especially if this was a UK company. Then if mine was a UK-based tiny home newsletter, then they know that everyone on my list would potentially want to buy something from them. And because they have their own tiny houses, just one sale from my newsletter is going to end up being a huge amount of money for them. So they would be happy to pay me a lot of money for me to sponsor me for the year, knowing that they only need to get a couple of sales from my newsletter in order for them to make a huge amount of money. Okay, and they have their own, they have build your own tiny home and other services as well. So all I need to do is go over to our little tool called Curated, and all it's going to do is pull all the information like this off of the website. I then go over to the newsletter generator and I cut and paste it into the box. You can see I've already done it here, so I don't need to do it again. If I want to, I can add in some sections if I need to. I hit change the color scheme if I want, and then I hit generate newsletter preview, and you can see it's done exactly that for me. So I've got the logo that I created, you've got the name of the newsletter, we have got the AI writing for us a little summary so people know what is coming up. Now, if you are building a sense of community, then what I'll be doing is I put a little bit of a personal paragraph in here, just a couple of sentences like this week, this is what I got up to, or something like that, because you do want to connect with your audience. That's one of the great selling points of a newsletter, is it builds that community feel that a lot of people are missing from their lives when it comes to social media and interaction. So many people get like really sales-based emails, whereas this is more about, you know, that connection with the community and sharing your knowledge and expertise or the information that you found, so people don't have to go and do all the hard work of finding the information. So you can see our subheading that we put is here, and then what the AI has done is it's pulled the images, it's pulled the text as well to create a title, and it's taken the information from the website, analyzed it, and then giving us a little paragraph about what's on the page, and it's written in a way to drive clicks, because that's how we're going to get paid. People that advertise or sponsor with us want to know that people actually click our articles. There might be somebody that comes out and says, look, I've written this article, it would work well in your newsletter, and then, you know, you could strike up some kind of ad sponsorship deal where you are tracking the clicks, and this will become a clickable button when you cut and paste all of this over into whatever newsletter platform you're using. But you can see the whole way through, we've got the second title that we put in. You can put multiple sort of subheadings in your newsletter, and it's done it all the way through. We've got the video as well, where you've got this sort of little GIF that catches people's attention. And then we've got the offer down here, which could be our ad, done exactly the same thing. And then what the AI does for us is it produces a little summary paragraph of what's happened in the newsletter. And again, you can tweak this and make it more yourself, put in sort of a little bit about what you've been doing, tease what's coming in the next edition, because what you'd want to be doing with this kind of newsletter is going through different parts, maybe, you know, different parts of the build process, maybe different parts of the tiny home that people have to build, maybe, you know, problem solving people have, plumbing or things like that. And then you can see you've got the signature down here, and then all we have to do is we either copy it as an HTML, and then you can just paste that into whatever newsletter program you're using, newsletter platform, to put your newsletter out there. One we talked a lot about on this channel is Beehive. They have a free plan that you can use, so you're not spending any money to get started, and you can see how quickly you can put together a newsletter like this. You just cut and paste it across into Beehive, put all of these sort of SEO, tweak it, make sure that you've got your sort of flair in there, a bit of you, and then you can schedule it and spend the rest of the week focusing on growth. Or if you want to, you can copy it to Clipboard. We do have a link down in the description that will give you 20% off Beehive, but you don't have to use the paid plans if you don't want to. They've got some great growth and monetization tools, but if you're on a budget, you can start off with the free plan and work on growing and monetizing it in different ways. That's completely possible. So if you're interested in this, then come over to our newsletter Idea Validator tool, and as you can see, it will break down, it will give you lots of different engagement strategies, how you can monetize it, ideas about different types of content, different ways that you could run the newsletter, and really help you decide what is the correct idea. So you can run a few ideas through this, and then go ahead, try the free version of our newsletter generator tool, build your own newsletter out, and then get it ready to send out. And like I said, if you come over to our YouTube page, we have got our free course here that will show you exactly how to start a newsletter. You can get our free PDF companion, which breaks down what each of the lessons are about. So if you just want to focus on growth or monetization, then you can click on this, you can check that out, and you'll be able to jump between different lessons that you actually need, because each lesson comes with like a breakdown, and you can then just click on the link for the lesson you need to actually watch at the time. And as I said, our free newsletter generator, you can get hold of that as well. So hopefully you found this useful. A newsletter is a great option for somebody on a budget that wants to start a business online and then build out something that could be really valuable in the future. See you in the next one.